how you going? Do you struggle with haters? Are you in a position where you're like, why do people hate me? All right, so this video is titled How to Deal with Haters. And I'm making this video because honestly, when I was growing more and more and more in my business, I would YouTube how to deal with haters and no one fucking could give me the answer I needed. Everyone gave me answers like, fuck them, like push them away, or, you know, if you get haters, you're going in the right direction. But I still took it really personally. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the real deeper understandings of haters. But you can also look at this about how to deal with negative people, why certain negative people affect us, for example, and what it actually means when people are negative. Because when you understand it at this level, I mean the level underneath all other levels, what will happen is it'll just be fucking easy. Like, it won't be such a big deal that someone is so negative towards you. So negative people or haters gonna hate, right? But negative people / haters can come in a variety of different forms. You know, it can come from if you're expanding your business and suddenly you get naysayers, or it can come if you are, you know, you're trying to be you and other people are trying to hold you down. Now, it is really easy to say that other people are holding you down because you're trying to expand. And while there is an element of truth in that, again, negative people can come in family. It can come in friends. They can come in people that you always thought were fabulous and they loved you, and now all of a sudden they're hating you for one particular reason. But it is easy to say that, you know, they hate you because you're expanding. And there is a truth to that, but it isn't the underlying truth. There is a truth to that because when you expand, you make people uncomfortable. You basically, because you're expanding, why aren't they expanding? So it's sort of easy for them to put you down to keep you in the spot that you were always in, so that way they can feel comfortable about their reality. But at the very truth of all levels of hate and love and all that kind of stuff is what we call self-talk. And I've talked a lot about that. I did a video on emotional self-harm, which is about the self-talk that we have ourselves. And I think I touched on it very lightly in that. So this is technically sort of like a follow-up video for that, but also not really. Well, basically, at the end of the day, people who hate on you, really, it's their stuff coming up. People can't really hate on you for stuff that they haven't been hating on themselves for years. For example, if you suddenly get more rich, more famous, more love in your life, for example, more social, more happy, people will hate on you for being, let's use the example of more happy. They'll hate on you for being more happy, like, oh, they shouldn't be so happy, because that's secretly what they've been telling themselves for years. And I bring this across the idea because when you understand that they're actually hating on themselves through you, they're projecting onto you, right? What tends to happen is, well, we start to look at them with compassion. That suddenly it's not so bad that they're hating on us, that you can realize that they're just struggling with something. They're just struggling with their own happiness. They're struggling with their own success. They're struggling with their own love. Oh my God, I can't believe that person is so, you know, like like then people gang up and they like secretly hate on someone in private. I guess the word is gossip. They're like, can you believe that person has gone around sleeping with these people? It's like, the fact that that person has gone around sleeping with these people is almost irrelevant to the fact that they feel bad because they judge themselves for their own sexuality. So it's people who hate on you, what they are doing is manifesting their self-judgment through you. Now, sure, it hurts, and I'm going to be talking about that in a second. Sure, it hurts that they're projecting onto you, but it's worth recognizing that it's their stuff. It's like they secretly were hating on themselves for so long that they ran out of themselves to hate, so they needed to project onto you. They needed to project onto someone else or something else, so that way they could actually like do more of it, if that makes sense. Like, it's a vibrational thing. You know, we get more of what we emotionally are in frequency of. So if they are in a period where they are hating on themselves, of course they're going to hate on you or things that are similar because it's their stuff. Now, it's interesting. When I mean stuff, I mean it's their trauma, their issues, their whatever you want to call it, the stuff that they have to let go of and process. And I've done a whole video on letting go, I think it was the last video in this series, like the one just before this. Anyway, what happens with this is it's also really beautiful to know that as you expand, you will trigger people. And I don't mean that in a bad way, like everyone's like, get up in the morning, I'm triggered, you know? I mean triggered, you'll trigger people because you will almost, through your expansion, cause them to look at their shit. Because they were in a happy world where they didn't have to look at it, then you were there, you expanded, so they want to keep you small, but now you're expanding and you're probably not going to stop because that is the nature of human existence. We expand just like the universe, so they will be almost looking at you like you are a totem of their own inner pain. So they look at you, and as they look at you, they cannot look at you without looking at their own inner pain, which sure comes out as hate, sure comes down as criticism. But what that is, as they look at their inner pain through you, they are expanding, they are feeling, they are processing, they are letting go. So that is the beautiful thing. Then they get the option. Do they look at their goddamn emotions or shut down or cut you off? And sometimes it can come in the form of cutting off, like they just can't handle it because it's almost like you're too radiant. But if that's the case, well, that's the case. That's sometimes how this works. Now, on the other hand is when it hurts you, I do want you to recognize that on the same case, right? On the same fucking level where someone cannot hate you for something that they haven't been hating on themselves for years, something cannot affect you at an emotional level that already either on two spectrums you haven't already been hurting yourself for years, or it's new. It's a new vibration, it's a new feeling, it's a new emotion. So it comes at you, and because your body's not used to it, we almost take it on. We're not used to it, so we haven't processed it. We don't know how to process that emotion at an emotional level. So we take that emotion on, and then that's when it hurts us because we're not used to that sort of pain, so it hurts us. That's the new level. If that's the case, allow yourself to feel the fact that it fucking hurts. Pretty soon, hero's journey, you'll process through it. Emotions have a cycle. You'll process through it, you'll let it go, you'll surrender to it, you'll become more fucking powerful because of it, and you'll understand what it actually means. So that's where I'm speaking from, because I understand what it means. And if you're watching this video, by the end of this video, you'll understand what it means too. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, they cannot hurt us for any ways that we already haven't been hurting ourselves for years. So this means that there are unfinished processed emotions that we have secretly been hurting ourselves. For example, they are, through hating on us, forcing us to deal with our shit in our own expansion. Because wouldn't it be nice if everyone was supportive, right? Well, sometimes people aren't, and it might be for a number of reasons. They might not be supportive because really they are... Look, they just don't know what you're doing. They might not be supportive because they need your support. They might not be supportive because you haven't been telling it to them in a particular way that they needed to know. For example, if you're starting a business or something like that. Now, whatever your goal is, more specifically. Now, the reason why I share this is because when we stop viewing it as hate and start looking at the other person with empathy, and we get our fucking heads out of our ass and wipe the shit out of our eyes, and the only way to do that is to allow yourself to feel that it hurts when someone hates on you, then what happens is you start to realize what they need. Maybe they hated on you because they just didn't understand. Maybe they hated on you because they needed time. Maybe they hated on you because they just need some fucking empathy. Maybe they hated on you because they're afraid if you expand, you'll leave them behind, and they just need to be reminded that that's now the case. Now, if you're in a spectrum or in a world where you're a public figure, you know, sort of like what I am, right? What's going to happen is that you're going to notice that the emotional wavelengths of the public response to you is always going to be indicative of how you feel at the time. So for example, I have earlier videos where I both believed what I was doing was fantastic and I also thought it was really silly. I, in those videos, get a direct response to the vibration that I put out, the emotional state that I put out, that was, this is fantastic and this is real silly. It's other people picking up on the fact that I thought it was silly, reflecting that back at me. People reflect it back at you. They cannot hate you if you have not already been hating yourselves. In the same way, they cannot hate you in ways that they already have not been hating on themselves. So it's what we call a co-creation, a collaboration. It's a beautiful synchronistic lineup between two people's emotional states, which means, right? And just as a quick with the videos, like in my later videos, I don't get so much like weirdness or this is dumb type stuff, because I don't fucking believe it's dumb anymore. I think I used to, now I don't. And so you see that it's a reflection of who you are. So the relationships you get are always a reflection of how you feel. Your career, your fucking fitness levels, where you live, all a reflection of how you feel. If you're worthy, if you're not, all that sort of stuff. I have a free online course about being worthy in love. Check it out, link in the description. But when it comes down to realizing that it's always going to be a reflection of how you feel, that's when we start to realize that how we feel is more important than what we do. You know, some people say, fuck the haters, right? But how? How do we fuck the haters? How you do it so intricately is by allowing and processing and letting go and surrendering to those emotions that you feel when people hate on you. Now, what happens is as I said before, it's a synchronistic co-creative connection that if people can only hate on you for things that they've been hating on themselves for years, and you can only receive hate in ways that you've been receiving that hate from yourself for years, if you suddenly stop hating on yourselves in that way, not delusional, not telling yourself, I'm better than this, which is really just suppressing those emotions that you have to allow yourself to feel, those people will stop hating on you because that connection will be done. If they can only hate on you in ways that they've been hating on themselves for years, they might continue to hate. But if you can only feel hate in ways that you've been hating on yourselves for years, and suddenly you stop, you just cannot perceive it anymore. It's outside of your reality. It might be in their reality, let them play their games, but you then transcend, and through your transcendence, allow and inspire and invite them to also do the same. That is why we are a beautiful connection-based society. We are a connection-based fucking creature. We connect through communication, we connect through love, we connect through sex, we connect through spending, we connect through sharing, we connect through stories, we connect through these motherfucking videos. And we are. So the same thing. I cannot produce a video like this with something that I have not already been feeling and understanding and processing and working with people for years in the same way that you cannot line up and receive this that you have not already been deeper, observing and thinking this out for years or looking for the answer. For some people, this is why the videos like this are multi-leveled, right? They are multi-leveled because for some person who needs like, yeah, fuck the haters, they'll watch this and hear the fact that I go, yeah, fuck the haters, and be like, yeah, fuck the haters. But those people who are ready for a higher consciousness level understanding of the situation, and it's not like there is higher and lower, there is only higher and more higher consciousness. It's not like an on or off, it's a more of process, that they will then receive the larger message. Now, I can only ever give the message that I have received personally, that I can give to you, but it's the same thing on flip side. You cannot receive the message that is not the message that you are destined to receive at this point in time, that is indicative of your journey to your own growth and expansion. Now, I normally talk about love and I normally talk about relationships on this channel, but this is all the same. It all comes down to emotions, and it all comes down to surrender, and it all comes down to who and what we are and what we want to be. And through every interaction, this is why it's powerful, because when someone hates on you, you can then feel, I don't like this. Then you get the power of preference. You can decide and shift and sort through your reality and decide who and what you need and want to be. And as a result, they are then giving you that opportunity, that they are revealing a part of you that you are holding on to emotionally, which usually is pain. We don't want to feel the pain, so we stop ourselves from feeling the pain, we suppress the pain, and as a result, it manifests in weird ways that we are secretly avoiding it, and as we avoid that pain, we avoid everything that is beyond the pain. It's like a door. Imagine the door is pain, but beyond that door is love and joy and stuff. When you realize the pain is not so painful, that what we perceive as pain or hate or anything like that is actually just a reaction to it, not the thing itself, but a reaction to it, and you observe that reaction, what happens is the world becomes a more interesting and beautiful place. You become so much more in control, so much more powerful, so much more fluid, so much more perceptive of what is going on. People who want money will be like, wow, they look like they want money. People who want to spend will be like, wow, they look like they want to spend. People who want love will be like, wow, they want love. People who want to feel loved and want more of it, you will see through that line, through that matrix, but you cannot see that if you are stuck feeling your own emotions and you are fighting yourself, or you are fighting others as a way to fight yourself. Because we can blame other people. We can blame other people. Yeah, they're terrible. And they might be terrible. But it's our reaction to their terribleness that holds us back. We might blame other people, but we cannot blame other people for stuff that we haven't really been blaming ourselves for years. And there is no blame game to play in life. We blame. What is blame? Their fault, my fault. Like a mental battle that we then go, I now know the answer. It was their fault. But was their fault, or was it a causality of events? Was it their fault, or did those events just happen? And more importantly, does it make you feel good to blame other people? Or does it feel good to just say, look, this is what happened? For some people, it might feel better to blame other people. And for those people, I go, fuck it, go do it. If that's what you need, go do it. There is no right or wrong answer. Only what works for you in your own expansion, your own growth, in your own connection, in your own beauty, in your own power. Whatever the fuck you want it to be, you are the creator. You are the creator of your own life. And more importantly, you're the creator of your own love life. So isn't that fucking beautiful? Isn't that powerful? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that what you want it to be? And then they say, love isn't easy. And you go, great. So love isn't easy because you're hiding from an emotion. You blame love, saying love is hard, when really it's an avoidance of oneself through love. So you are powerful, you are beautiful, you are amazing. If you do want to work with me, if you do want to work together, we create something higher together for this purpose, this cause. I've got my 6-week program, and if you're curious about that, you can apply for a free call at gettinghooked.com. If you want, I've got my free online course as well, with the Worthy of Love. You can get that in the link in the description. I yell at you for 5 days. It's fantastic. And I will talk to you soon, if not sooner.